Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose, man. Look, absolutely horrible. Horrible. Jake Paul and Canelo. Eddie Hearn's come out and several other people have reported that, they heard Jake Paul and Canelo is a done deal. Now, unless, Canelo's team announces it, what can you do? But I do believe that Eddie Hearn would know. But this is my thing, right? If Canelo and Jake Paul is a done deal, I still don't understand why cancel the Crawford fight. Now, for those people who are saying, you know what, there was never a deal in place for Canelo and Crawford, that Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season, they got ahead of themselves and jumped the gun and announced a fight that wasn't agreed. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season and their team, they don't make those kind of mistakes. They don't make those kind of missteps. They're not going to come out there. They're not Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn will tell you the fight's 90% done or that everything's agreed. Eddie Hearn would lie. But that's his whole thing. He's a salesman. Salesmen lie to you, right? To get your business. Turki Al-Sheikh and the Riyadh season staff, that's not their style. I do believe that there was a deal in place. I do believe everything was agreed to. Date, purses, venue, everything. Now, obviously, it's some stuff that happened behind the scenes that could have resulted in the fight being canceled. Those things, I don't know, right? But the fact that the rumors are out there that, Canelo's going to fight this guy, I just got to say, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Now, look, it's at a point. We know Canelo was a bad boy. He was. I'm not going to say he is no more, right? He was a bad boy. You can't knock his legacy. But at the same time, maybe Canelo feels like his legacy is intact and he's really all about the money. Doesn't care what anyone thinks. Maybe Canelo has sat back and watched Gervonta Davis and watched how he operates and says, you know what, I'm just going to go and take fights where I can make money hand over fist without so much risk, since I've done that already, and just sail off into the sunset at a certain point. Now, Gervonta Davis, of course, a lot of people feel he still hasn't taken a fight with significant risk. I don't necessarily agree with that, but people feel Gervonta could be challenging himself more. But in Canelo's case, if this is true with Jake Paul, and of course the fight with Terrence Crawford, I'm going to just categorize Canelo Alvarez as an active pro exhibitionist, pro boxer exhibitionist. That's what he is. He's an exhibitionist. That's what Canelo's doing now. He's putting on exhibitions. He's not fighting. His last fight was Bivol. That was a fight. Now he's just doing exhibitions. So if he fights Jake Paul and then somehow he sorts things out and fights Terrence Crawford, and then he goes on and he fights at Conor McGregor, that all qualifies as exhibitions. You know what I'm saying? Freak shows. Now, if he's making $100 million, $150 million a fight, I don't knock him. I think he should get his money. But I just think right now, Canelo is an exhibitionist. Simple. But it also goes back to what I was saying years ago. I got to find those videos, and I'm going to share them with you. Where I was saying Jake Paul, he's going to get all those fights. The secret society's behind him. They already know what they want him to do, the direction they want him to go, and they're going to make sure that everything that they're promising him, it's going to happen. You look, this was all orchestrated. If Canelo fights Jake Paul, it's not something that Canelo just woke up yesterday and said, you know what, I think I want to fight Jake Paul. Let me tell you, there were discussions in place, even with Jake Paul's opponents. This is how we need things to go. Now, I think Jake Paul's learned how to fight pretty good, but I am 100% convinced Jake Paul's career is scripted, and I feel all his opponents were in on it. And I definitely feel right now that Canelo's another opponent, if he fights Jake Paul, who was kind of in on it. I think some of these sanctioning bodies have sat down and they've had discussions and said, hey, this is the route we want to go. Y'all got to understand the power of the secret society. Yes, Canelo's his own boss. Floyd Mayweather was his own boss to a certain extent. If Canelo was his own boss, he wouldn't need anybody. And he needs everybody to make sure that he fights. If Canelo was his own boss, he wouldn't need no sanctioning bodies. He wouldn't need no Riyadh season. No one. He and his team could go and put on his fights. And he can't do that. So there's a lot more to what's going on here than meets the eye. Anyway, as everyone's hearing right now, Canelo and Jake Paul is done. I think it's a black eye. But he's an exhibitionist, and that's what exhibitionists do. All right, I'm in the breeze.